I'm taping this on the morning of Friday, May 29th, because I wanted to mention yesterday when I engaged in an heroic act. I tuned in to a conversation conducted virtually and internationally under the aegis of the United Nations dealing with funding for the coronavirus pandemic. Now, it was an important conversation because it was chaired by the Secretary General of the United Nations himself in conjunction with two prime ministers, one from Canada, one from Jamaica. And they were pretty proud of what was going on. They engaged in a lot of self-congratulatory backslapping because they got 50 countries involved. I didn't understand why that was such a big deal because, frankly, that's only 1/4 of the membership of the United Nations, and both the United States and China were absent, two pretty important absentees. Nonetheless, the chairs were very pleased with the numbers. They also had the IMF and the World Bank and the private sector. God forbid they should have representative organizations of the frontline workers or of people who were affected or afflicted themselves. But they were there, these cerebral potentates, speaking to the rest of us. The reason I feel it was heroic is because those speeches that are made at the UN, and my mind goes back to my own days at the UN, the procession of speeches is so mind-numbing. They are so cliché-driven, such sonorous homilies, such miasmic sludge, repeating over and over again international solidarity, financial acumen, humanitarian imperatives, all the phrases that are trotted out at these meetings ad nauseum. And in fact, what is missing, what is always missing, are concrete interventions. For example, in advance, countries could have come together to suggest concretely the amount of money that was necessary to deal with the public health aspect on the one hand and the economic recovery on the other for low and middle income countries. No such concrete suggestion was made. Oh, there was something concrete the day before. France and Germany got together and said they would raise $500 billion by way of grants to fight the coronavirus. Was it for low and middle income countries? No, it was for the countries of the European Union, the wealthy helping the relatively less wealthy. Or you could have had countries say we're going to cancel the debt because everybody knows that the debt servicing obligations of low and middle income countries are compromising their capacity to have resources to deal with the coronavirus. And the money they do have to deal with the coronavirus is siphoning resources away from other major priorities like immunization, sexual and reproductive health, HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis, measles. It's really a difficult situation. Now, in truth, the meeting did have one set of recommendations. They set up 6 working groups to deal with various aspects of the funding proposal. And those working groups are to report between the middle and the end of July. Now, that's 6 to 8 weeks hence. 6 to 8 weeks. We know that this pandemic every week has a kind of apocalyptic impact. Thousands of people will die. Why isn't there a greater sense of urgency? Where is the leadership? It is as though the wealthy countries of the world are determined to compound the inequality which COVID-19 has revealed. That was last week. I'm Stephen Lewis.